from the city council, what will be the process?
If it's a violation of the law, at some point we will have to address it. Our goal would be to work in a reasonable and diplomatic fashion with the groups if that comes to it. However, when it is a violation of the law, at some point, if we can't work out a solution, the Omaha Police Department would have to intervene.
How long do you think they've got at 24th and Farnham before you have to start arresting people?
It's hard to say. I feel we have some time. I feel we have time to work out a solution with the group that is up there. It does change on a daily basis as to who's up there, and we do feel that we have made some headways, and there is more work to be done on that front. So there is some time.
Are they going to be there for 24 hours, 48 hours? When does push come to shove for the police department?
Right. Push comes to shove, and when we feel there's no other alternative at this point, and we haven't reached that yet.
Chief, you mentioned a moment ago that you'll reach out to them again. Is that tonight, this afternoon?
Well, I'd rather not get too involved in when we're going to reach out to the group, but we'll reach out to them today, and we've reached out to them in the past, including one time early this morning and one time yesterday.
Why didn't the police come to the site at 10 o'clock yesterday if they were told that they needed to be cleared out by 10 p.m.?
It wasn't exactly what was told there. We met with the group, and it was suggested as a compromise that they would leave at 10. They gave the police the impression that they would willingly go at 10 o'clock. It was never our intent to come back at 10 o'clock and make mass arrests if the place was occupied. So that was a compromise that was initiated by both parties.
And that's, you said before, that's city property?
It is city property, yes, sir.
Maybe a question for Ada or someone else, if I may. So they officially have, just make sure I'm hearing you right, they officially have a permit to go to Elmwood Park? There's some other kind of agreement here as far as what they have right now?
They have a permit to go to Elmwood. I mean, they've been, it's okay.
If you wouldn't mind, yeah.
They've been given a permit to go to Elmwood Park, correct me if I'm wrong, Paul. They've been granted a permit to go to Elmwood Park. It's a conditional permit though, so it's during our regular park hours.
Okay.
And then there's also conditions regarding, what else? Insurance, porta potties, you know, and it's what we also request from every organization that is asking for the same permit.
So it's like a special use permit? What do we call this permit?
I don't know.
Is there
special use park permit.
Special use park permit is what they've been granted. Was there a fee associated with that?
Yes.
Oh, how much for that?
$35.
$35, okay, sorry.
But in order for them to stay in Elmwood Park overnight, for instance, when the park is actually closed, that would need some movement by the city council?
City council is the body that could waive that.
Because it's an ordinance. I mean, it's a city council ordinance that the parks close at 11 o'clock. So for them to, to waive that, they have to go back to the city council and ask what's okay.
To your knowledge, have they approached the council to ask them that? To put it on the agenda to have it waived?
Well,
I guess I can say that we have drafted such a waiver. I'm not sure when it's going to go to the city council.
So we can say that they haven't indeed asked for this, I would assume.
They've asked for it.
Okay, thanks.
And they were the ones that asked for the permit for Elmwood Park. It wasn't suggested by the city.
we didn't, let me make it clear, we did not suggest that they go anywhere. They asked us for a permit at Elmwood Park, and that's the process then goes to legal. It went to parks and legal, and they, followed the rules.
Last night they said that they never went into Elmwood Park because it's not visibly enough, and that wouldn't be an acceptable location for them.
The only part that was requested from them, and we have the name of a woman who, here's part of the problem. I mean, there are a lot of different people who are allegedly, leaders in this group. So even though one person may say one thing, the only ones who've actually come here and approached us and asked us was for Elmwood Park.
Is there any precedent for this? We have anything like this in the 60s even?
To
your knowledge for the
I don't know.
Are you telling us how old she is?
Maybe not.
Not that old.
Much simpatico on that. I was thinking, honestly, this is the last time this would have happened. Seriously, the last time anything like this would have happened would have been late 60s. Am I right? Wrong?
I don't know. I asked about a 5 year, 5 years or 10 years ago, and they really didn't have anything to go on.
I can confirm that because I'm the right age.
And
we had fires in North Omaha in 1968, just like LA did.
Any overnight campouts in Memorial Park?
I don't remember.
All right. See if there's precedent.
So that's
When you talk about trying to work out
a solution or work out a compromise with the protesters, what are you talking about with that?
Well, that compromise could take a number of different forms based on the conversation, but explaining the law, explaining what they may or may not know about the law and how it applies to their situation, perhaps working out an alternative solution, alternative site that they could go to, are all part of that negotiation process, or attempts at diplomacy anyways.
Are they cooperating?
The conversations we've had with the group have been very cordial, and they have tended to lend me to believe that some compromise could be reached.
Is there any indication that they're a danger to themselves or to others?
At this point, imminent danger, no. It's going to become a sanitary issue at some point. Like I said, it wasn't designed to be a campsite. So you will have the public urination issues, the litter issues, and the public health issues that will become associated with that.
Can you talk about some of the issues that the business community has felt from the protesters at 24th and Farnham?
Some of the complaints that we have received have been from the business community, and those complaints stemmed along the lines that I just mentioned with public urination, some signage that has been used, etc.
So Aida, this anonymous woman who the city has been speaking with asked to use Elmwood Park. It was her proposal to come up with Elmwood Park. But it seems though, based on what we're hearing right now, that not many of the people at 24th and Farnham right now are into that idea at all. So.
Or if they're even, I mean, I don't know
Or
if they
even
know
know
each
about
other
it.
or know, yeah.
So what? So how's that? What do you do?
Well, I think we probably should clarify, we don't know at this point if the same group with Elmwood is the same group at 24th and Farnham. We
Right.
simply don't know. They may be, but it would be reckless of us to say that they are definitely connected, because we don't know.
I mean, in meeting today just to try to figure out how do we want to proceed forward, each of us at the table had a different name of somebody who we thought was the leader, so.
Chief, can you give an approximation as to the largest number of these protesters you think that we've seen in one place so far here in Omaha?
Sure, I can give you a gauge of what I observed personally. About 10 o'clock this morning, there were roughly 7 tents, maybe 15 protesters. At times, there have been 4 tents and a less number of protesters. And I think at its max, one considers maybe 15 tents and over 25 people.
Would that have been last night?
Yes.
Chief, so how
Yes, sir.
they were at Jean Lake, and then they moved to 24th and Farnham, and now we're talking Elm. How did we move from Jean Lake to the city of Omaha? I mean, what kind of prompted that transition?
I don't know. I can't even tell you if it's the same group that moved from Jean Leahy to 24th and Farnham. It's that same interconnectability that we're unsure of how that comes into play.
They said that they were told first to move from Jean Leahy to 18th and Farnham, and that was specifically told by the police that would be a suitable place for them to stay, and then 18th and Farnham didn't work out either.
I'm unaware of that conversation.
Todd, did any of the protesters give any of the officers that showed up any indication that if police try to arrest, they'll resist?
No, there's been no indication that there would be a resist type of situation. There have been some indications that it would be a peaceful situation, but some arrests may have to be made.
Is that a decision you guys don't want to make?
As far as?
Arresting people?
We would like to work out a solution prior to that. We feel that we've offered up viable solutions. We feel there's some diplomacy to work on still. And yes, we would like to avoid that situation.
I mean, it's just in everybody's best interest, but we need to be fair to the people who also live in this town and their interests too.
So Chief, one final question from here. It's just a matter of monitoring day to day, making contact with them every day really from here on out. How do you frame that?
Well, I will say this, at some point, we will go back down and lay out a position again and try and work out a solution. And at some point, we'll have to make a determination if that solution is ever going to come to fruition. And at that time, we'll have to do what we need to do to make sure that lot is clear. Okay, thank you, everybody.
If anything new develops, we'll let you know. We'll call you guys back up there.